Hey ladies, I know that's not a thing in America, but it's very much a thing in Ukraine um, and in Europe. But growing up in Ukraine, I'm used to Women's Day, so I instructed Jesse last night that he was supposed to get me a Paula's donut this morning for Women's Day, which he
I've
did.
learned that Women's Day is very important.
It's very important.
Hmm.
It's actually a huge holiday in Ukraine, and I saw a video today of some Ukrainian um, military handing out tulips to women um, crossing through block posts and stuff. So tulips are the gift of choice in Ukraine for Women's Day. So that was very cool to see that even when they're fighting a war, Ukrainian soldiers still care very deeply for their people, and even just something as small as giving Ukrainian women flowers on Women's Day. They're just amazing like that. So we don't want to make this a huge long update today. We just want to give you all a few things that we've heard from some of our people in Ukraine. There's anyways, so yeah, we're just gonna dive right in and do that. I'm stealing your phone.
Yes, you are.
Yes. Okay. So our pastor, I'll wait until well, I'll just go ahead and get into it. So my family in Western Ukraine, for the moment, most of Western Ukraine is still quiet, if you will. That's not where any of the heavy shelling or anything is happening. So Western Ukraine is busy with refugees, helping people fleeing from other parts of Ukraine. My family being some of those people who are using their home to help Ukrainians. So this is just a few highlights from the update from my mom. She writes about Olena, who was one of the women staying at their house whose husband had to report to the military. So her husband joined up with the Ukrainian military, and she left on Saturday to travel to Israel. And by also that day, they had others leaving their house to go into Poland. So, but she says by that evening, we'd had 17 more weary refugees arrive at the house. Since Saturday, we've had a revolving door of people coming, staying one night, and leaving the next day, then more coming. We've barely been able to stay on top of keeping clean sheets, duvet covers, and towels in the room. One of the refugees, Vova, has been driving the refugees from our house to the Polish border every day. Today, he picked up 2 moms and 5 young children to bring them to the house. For 5 days straight, these women and children had sheltered in a basement in Kiev, packed with other people. They said it was so difficult, especially for the kids. When they finally were able to go to their homes, missiles were fired the next day and hit the building next to theirs. They said it was so terrifying. One of the women's husbands is in the army and was in Kiev. He called her and said Russian soldiers were coming into the city, dragging people onto the streets and executing them. He also told his wife they were dragging women out and doing terrible things to them. He told her, "Leave the city now with our children." The 2 women and 5 children traveled a total of 15 hours to get to Lviv. The moms have seemed almost catatonic since arriving, as their kids are crying and running out of control. It's as if the moms are paralyzed due to sheer exhaustion. It has been heartbreaking to watch these moms and kids tonight. A bus will be coming to pick them up in the morning and take them across the border. One of the things that many of the women have expressed is that they don't know if they will ever see their husbands again, and they might have to make a new life alone in another country. We have numerous rooms already reserved for refugees making their way here. Some of these are elderly, blind, and one is a young couple with a 3-day-old baby, which was delivered in Kiev by cesarean. It seems most are coming from Kiev now, as things there are intensifying greatly. Another missionary couple called us tonight saying they left Kiev on Saturday and should get to us tomorrow with some of their elderly church members. It's taking them 3 days to get from Kiev to Lviv, normally a 6-hour drive. There are huge lines at the roadblocks between here and Kiev. So that's the update from my family. Continue to pray for them for strength and energy as they help as many people as they can. I do know my parents, so it's my parents and my middle sister who are in Ukraine and who are helping the refugees who are fleeing other parts of Ukraine. And I do know that they are taking turns having a day off every week because they realized after the first few days they weren't going to be able to continue helping if they didn't somehow replenish their energy. So they made a kind of a pact that one day a week mom and dad would have a day off, and then one day a week my sister would have a day off. But the refugees who have been coming through, especially the ones who have been staying a long time with my family, not the ones who are coming in what do you call it?
Being transient.
Transient through their home, but the ones who have been staying and living with them are just being incredibly helpful. They need to keep busy to keep from going out of their minds. So they've asked my family to put them to work, and they're helping with things like laundry and cooking and cleaning and repairs and picking people up. And they're just being incredible, and my family's being incredible, and just continue to keep them in your prayers. Some people have asked where they can donate to my family. The last I heard, my family actually had more than they can even use because so many people have donated. So they've actually been looking for ways to give away some of the donations that they've been getting to other people who need them in Ukraine. So that's a great problem to have. It reminds me of the Old Testament when they were building the temple, and the people were so generous that they finally had to tell them, stop, we have more than enough, we can't take any more. So my family is doing great. The Lord has provided above and beyond for them, which I'm super, super thankful for. And so then our pastor friend who is, thank you, Carly. So good to hear from you. She says, praying for your family. Thanks again for doing these updates to keep us updated.
Cool.
Our pastor friend who's in southeast Ukraine, whose town is under Russian occupation, he continues to amaze us. We get daily messages from him, and it's kind of embarrassing to say that he encourages our faith. Like, he lifts our spirits, and sometimes I feel really guilty for that because I'm like, here I am in safe, quiet, comfortable Buffalo, New York, and I'm crying and I'm feeling paralyzed from emotion, and then we get a message from our friend, and it helps to kind of help snap me out of that and be like, okay, Bria, focus on Christ and what he's doing in Ukraine, and pray, like channel your energies into praying and helping, and instead of just getting bogged down in the emotion of it. So we wanted to share with you a video that he sent. We can't show you the whole video because his face is in it, and we don't want to do anything that would compromise him, but I'll play the video and let you listen to the audio, listen to what he's saying, and then I'll show you some images from the video that don't have his face in them, so you can see what he's talking about. So I'll let you listen to the audio first.
Dear Jesse and Bria, it's a new day and new opportunity to serve to our precious people in the name of our glory.
Sorry, it just went off. Sorry about that. We have technical issues.
That's okay.
It doesn't seem like we can do any of these without technical issues. Okay, let's try this again. So this is our pastor in the southeast of Ukraine in Russian occupied territory speaking.
Dear Jesse and Bria, it's a new day and new opportunity to serve to our precious people in the name of our glorious God. And it's early in the morning, but we already purchased some of the so necessary stuff like onion, like potato, and we plan to have several more cars during this day, but we wanted to stop and say big thank you for helping us, for praying for us. Thank you so very much. All the blessings to you. Bye.
Дякую, Вадим. Дуже дякую. So we'll show you, I think I cut out his face. Let me just make sure because last time I sort of had a little faux pas there.
You did good, hon.
So we'll show you a part of the video where he's showing, so this is just one load that they have today. This was their first morning run. And the things, apparently the morning was onions and potatoes today. So they started out the morning delivering onions and potatoes to people, and then the rest of the day they'll just be doing much of the same. And that's kind of what I did with him for 8 years while the war has been going on, but was sort of confined to the eastern wall of Ukraine. And I would join up with him and our other pastor friend, and we would travel to the front lines to visit the soldiers and encourage them. And that's what our days would be. We would wake up in the morning, we would go just fill up our vehicle and buy as much as we could, stuff everything into as much as we could into the vehicle, go around visiting people until we had gotten rid of everything that we had, and then we'd go back to the market or the store, buy more, go distribute it, visit people. And so it looks like he's just continuing that ministry on, except now it's not to the soldiers on the front lines, but it's to the people, civilians, his church members living in Russian occupied territory who have no way to get out and are running out of food and supplies. And so he's like an angel. But we love him, and he keeps his eyes on God. And I know that's the only way that he has the strength to do what he's doing, let alone then he goes home and he has a wife and a daughter and 7 additional orphans who are living with them that he has to be strong for. And we love him, and we're incredibly proud of him. And so that's where our those of you who have been giving donations, that's mostly where we're funneling your donations to. So for those who've noticed, this is our cat Sugar Plum. She always has to make an appearance in every video that we do. So you'll just see her. Are we still able to get money to him? Do you want to talk about that, babe?
Yeah, so I've been in conversations with my bank. I'll find out hopefully that the wire transfer I sent yesterday, I sent $3,000 to him yesterday, and so I'm hopeful that he's able to pick that up. It gets wired into his account. I guess he doesn't pick it up.
We're not able to send to him instantaneously anymore like we had been.
At least as far as I know, but I've put some feelers out there from some other folks to see, because there's some people in Ukraine that are still able to get a MoneyGram or a Western Union, and other people that aren't. So it's sort of touch and go. The other. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can find one that doesn't.
Here, I'll look and you tell them about him. So
another friend of ours, a pastor that is outside of Odessa, and that's a big area, so I don't mind using the name. That is a possibility of another Russian invasion coming in from the coast of Odessa. So he is working on getting people across the border into Moldova, and so that one might work. So he has. Do you want to just?
Yeah, I can.
Sorry, we're doing this live, as you can say. And so we have been working with him to try to get him a starter to another van. He has one van, and he's been on the road taking people to Moldova. Wow, excuse me. And we are working on getting him a starter to put in the other van because it's not starting at the moment. And he's got 19 people that he needs to take tomorrow. So Bria's working on really quickly, just doing a little editing. It's always better to just give you pictures of things. It's helpful.
Nope, that didn't work.
It didn't work.
Just
Oh, that worked.
Don't flip it.
Don't flip it. Okay.
Because when you flip it, the marks move.
Oh, okay. So this is
Okay.
this is the van and the other van, and so
So I was watching one of the videos that he sent, and this van, correct? This one doesn't, the starter doesn't work.
starter doesn't work.
So what they do is they have to hook these vehicles together, and this van has to pull this one until it gets going enough to be able to start. So it has to be like a running start.
Crazy. So anyway, I don't know why I'm eating carrots while we're doing this, but it's probably bad stage presence, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, there's, as you read from Bria's talk about what her mom had written, there's just crazy stuff happening in the Capitol right now. We actually took a call from a friend of ours whose family is close by in Kiev, and they're trying to figure out, do we flee or do we not? You know, we've got grandparents. There's actually 16 relatives of this friend, and we were just talking through it, just processing it. But what do? Do we try to get them into a car to get out? This suburb or village outside of Kiev only has one road really out of it into Kiev, and those are just the life decisions that people are having to make. Do I stay or do I go? Am I going to be safe from shelling or bombing, or am I not? And that's just it's just immensely difficult, gut-wrenching decisions that are being made, as we've said a couple of times here, whether it's husbands and wives leaving each other, going to different countries, just terrible things being done, war crime type stuff, and then having elderly folks that aren't able to move as easily. What are we doing? Are we staying? Are we going? So just continue to pray for just the regular people that are trying to figure these things out. That God will give them discernment, that wisdom will be given to them to figure out what to do. Our friend, the Russian soldiers are about 5 miles away from them as of 8 o'clock last night. And so be praying for that sort of unspoken family and 100,000 others that are in similar situations.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. You can still help if you haven't gotten involved yet and you want to do something to help, or if you have already and you want to just keep helping, because there's never too much. Go to my social media pages on Facebook and Instagram, Bria Blessing, and on Facebook, on my Facebook page, pinned at the top. Thank you, Christy. Pinned at the top, there's a post. There's like 5 images, and it has 4 simple ways that you can practically help Ukraine and get involved. On my Instagram, you might have to scroll just a little bit, but it should be towards the top, the same post with 5 images. And it's just very clear, simple ways, easy ways that you can, it won't take much time or effort, that you can practically help the Ukrainian people. Thanks for caring, as always. Thank you for continuing to pray for Ukraine. As believers, we believe prayer is the strongest weapon, but it's not our only weapon. So there are other ways also to get involved, but definitely keep praying and keep paying attention. Don't forget them. You know, for us, you know, it's like the 12th day now, 13th day. And it's too easy when we're so far removed to, you know, just kind of get back to life as usual. But, you know, just remembering that this hasn't stopped for Ukrainians, and it just, by the day it gets worse and more people die and more people are displaced. And yeah, just trying to rally our hearts every day to that we all, everyone needs to keep caring, keep working, and until this ends and until the Ukrainian people are set free and free to live their lives in peace. So yeah, that's it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
We
y'all.
love you. Grateful.
Have a good day.